Hey, yo, Cardmarket people, you're back with me, Hot Chalk, and today I've got a slightly different top 6 for you. I have the top 6 things you will need for IRL Pokemon TCG play. Now, we're getting to the point now where some leagues are doing like local sort of events. Hopefully, sanctioned play will be on the horizon eventually, and I want to make sure all of you people are prepared. So let's get involved. Right, so coming in out at number 6 slot, we have sleeves for your deck. You don't really want to be playing cards like this with no sleeve. The reason being, you have to shuffle a lot in the TCG, okay? After every interaction almost, you have to shuffle with your deck, right? If you have unsleeved cards, you are just going to destroy the front and backs. And you know, I'm sure a lot of you have some fancy cards, right? Like this. You don't want them to be mullered. So what you want to do to prevent that is have some sleeves. Now, I'm sure you've all seen some ETB style sleeves like this. They are actually the ones that I use. A lot of people say they don't like them. I think they're great. I've opened a ton of ETBs up, and so I have a ton of these lying around. So you can use these ones, okay, ETB style sleeves. You can also use any plain colored sleeves, okay? They have to be plain. So you can use stuff like Dragon Shield, Ultimate Guard, Ultra Pro. As long as they're plain colors, you can use them. You can also use Pokemon official design sleeves like this. As long as it's got, you see the Pokemon Nintendo game creature at the bottom. As long as you've got that, you can use them. The one type of sleeves you cannot use, though, you're not allowed to use, it's actually against the rules, are sleeves with designs on that aren't made by Pokemon. So as you can see, that has a design on, but it was a Pokemon one. That's an ETB sleeve, so that's fine. A sleeve like this, which is a Dragon Shield art sleeve, you cannot use, is not allowed, okay? I think they do that for like, so you can't mark the sleeve or something like this. So that's actually against the rules. So it'll be either plain color sleeve or Pokemon official sleeve, okay? And here's a little top tip for you for your first event, because I got stung by this. Obviously, your whole deck has to be 60 cards, so you're going to have the whole deck sleeved in the same pack of sleeves. But if I were you, I would bring about 5 of the same type of sleeve spare with you. Reason being, your deck will be checked when you get to the event. And if the judge checking your deck thinks this one's got a little bit of a ding, this one's got a little bit of a ding, that could give you an advantage, they will ask you to change that sleeve. And if you haven't got some spare ones ready to go, then you're going to have to run to the shop and get a whole new set. So just prepare, be prepared, and have a couple spare sleeves. But that was my number 6 pick. Sleeves. Right, so my number 5 pick isn't strictly necessary to play the game, but we all know we all have some of these knocking about, and when you're at an event, you're going to be in a whole room filled with like-minded people. So I'm going with your trades, you know, those spares that you don't need. So here are my trades. Look, got a whole ton of trades there. The camera's not really focusing. I apologize about that. But have your trades with you, because you know what I mean. In between rounds or at the end of the event or at the start of the event, everyone's going to be sitting around. Everyone's got spare cards that you might want, or you might have cards that some other people will want, and then you can use that time to trade your unwanted cards for hopefully cards that you want. Let's say you own 3 Suicune V and you really want to build a Suicune V deck. In that room, someone might have a spare Suicune. They might want your Dragapult. All of a sudden, you can now both build the decks you want. So there's a couple ways you can bring your trades to events. You can either sling them all in a deck box. That's what I personally do, because the deck box is small. Or you can get like a little binder and sling them all in there. Both work. But either way, I would highly recommend that you bring your spares to events. Coming in at my number 4 slot is an item you actually do need to play the game, and that is dice or damage markers, okay? So let me get some of these out. So I recommend using ETB dice, okay? And the reason you need these is to track damage on your Pokemon throughout the game. So I recommend using them. Have a few sets. But recently, Pokemon in the ETBs have started using these damage markers instead. That actually have numbers on. You can use them as well. I've just been playing for a long time, so I prefer these dice. You also need a see-through dice, I should say. And the reason you need a see-through dice is because when you have to like roll for like a crushing hammer or a Pokeball, the dice you use for that has to be see-through. It's against the rules to use a solid color one for that. Reason being, you could have potentially weighted that one. So they want to make sure it's see-through, so you can make sure that no shenanigans have happened. So yeah, that is needed. So you do need some dice. Bring a good few of them. I always carry all mine in this little old tub that and see that just full of dice. And you may have quickly saw in there as well, you actually need burn and poison markers. You see them? So that is to indicate if your active Pokemon is burn or poison. So obviously the cards don't rotate for that one, so you need to have these. Again, these are all in all ETBs. You can pick them up off like an eBay for very, very cheap. Now, technically, I think it's if your deck can inflict those special conditions, you're meant to bring them. But in actuality, I just find having your own, keep it with you in all times, just keeps games simpler. So yeah, dice and burn and poison markers. Right, so number 3 is a deck box. I've had this one since I've started playing. You can see it is battered. But you'd rather have the deck box get battered in your bag than a deck. Because you can imagine trying to like carry a deck like this. It's just asking for trouble. It's just going to fall apart in your bag. You might lose some cards. And if you start a game without a 60-card deck, technically, that is against the rules. So in order to mitigate that, just sling your deck into a box like this. This is not a full deck, but you sling it in like that. Then that goes in your bag, and then you know no cards are going to fall out or anything like this. So there's quite a few options you can use. This is, I think, well, this was just an Ultra Pro one. That's pretty cool. Don't forget, if you go to pre-releases, the pre-release boxes will fit a 60-card deck in, and I'm sure a lot of you have them knocking about. But yeah, you could use anything realistically, but a deck box is super important. You don't want cards flinging around your bag. You don't want to be trying to like find cards and that. Just keep them in the deck box. Keep your deck box in your bag, and you know all the time. You have peace of mind that your deck is there. Nothing should be lost, and happy days. So that's why you want a deck box 100%. Honestly. So coming in at my number 2 slot is technically something that isn't necessary. It's not in the rules that you have to have one of these, but my lord, playing with it is so much better than playing without it. We are talking about playmats. Now, there's a ton of playmats that you can get, right? Like, I think that was a regional one. Get them for winning League Cups. Got like a champion team. I got this one for doing well in a team challenge, I think. But either way, playmats, if you just like go to regionals, you'll get them. Playmats are very easy to come across. You can pick them up off Cardmarket, and you know what? Some playmat designs are absolutely gorgeous. So you know, have some fun with it. Like I really like Primal Groudon. So I picked up this mat. I love it. Nothing makes me happier than playing with this. At least if I'm losing, I can look at one of my favorite Pokemon. But the main reason why I'm telling you to get one of these for IRL play is not because of the design. That's just a happy bonus. When you're playing the game, you often have to like pick up cards, attach energies, attach tools. You know, if a Pokemon gets knocked out, to slide them all to the discard pile. And doing that on a table can be difficult. So what you want to do is have a playmat, protect your sleeves, all that good stuff. It just makes it easier. You don't want to be playing on wood. A lot of the time you go to IRL events, the tables are like wood and it can scratch. It just doesn't feel nice. Promise, get a playmat and you will thank me later. But then my number 1 thing that I want to recommend that you get sorted before you head to your IRL event is a deck list. The amount of times I see people rock up to events borderline late, and they have to sit down, write their deck list. They have to like unshuffle their deck, write their deck list. All of a sudden, bang, they get a late warning. So to alleviate all that business, I always write my deck list out the night before. Settle on my deck list, and then write it out. And things that your deck list will have to have on is your name, your date of birth, so they can work out if you're a junior, master, senior, all that rubbish. And then your pop ID. Those 3 things have to be at the top of your deck list. Then after that, you write down all your Pokemon that you play and their quantity. So let's say I have 2 of this Cresselia, right? See if we can get this to focus a little bit more. Hold on. So let's say I have 2 of this Cresselia. You have to write down Cresselia. You write down the set, which is Chilling Reign. Sorry, it's not focusing. Oh, there you go. And then you have to write down that set number. You see that says 64? So you'd write Cresselia, Chilling Reign, 64, and then times 2. And you have to do that for all the Pokemon you play. Okay? And then after that, you get to the trainers. Trainers are a lot simpler because you don't have to worry about what set they're printed in or what number it is. So let's say you got 4 Professor's Research, just put Professor's Research times 4. If you've got Crystal Cave, it's not going to focus, but that is Crystal Cave. You'd write Crystal Cave ×4. Not a really good deck for Solar Crystal Cave. But anyway, you bear with me. And then you do the same for energies. And that's going to look something like this. And then you hand that in when you get to your event. And that means you're going to be all prepared the night before. So if you just get to the event, play some practice games, all that good stuff, and just hand in your deck list. And I promise it makes it a whole lot simpler. But let me know what you think. A lot of this stuff, sleeves, deck boxes, play mats, you can get from Cardmarket. So go over there, get all that good stuff, okay? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.